Welcome back, everyone, to the Bears Profit Plays podcast. Today is Friday, November 18th, and we have a loaded college football and NFL slate to talk about today. Joining me, as always, we have Trey Trends and Jacob Teats. How are we doing today, guys?
The week was pretty good. I'm excited for the weekend. Long week of school and work. So I'm excited to kick back, put my feet up on the chair, and watch some college football on Saturday and some NFL on Sunday.
Absolutely. Teats, how are we doing?
Oh, pretty good. Getting ready for some weekend activities I got to go to tomorrow. So I'm trying to get all my stuff done today that I need to get done before the Sunday slate.
I love it. All right. Before we get into the games, though, we are still accepting entries into our membership giveaway. We have 35 people plus subscribe on the YouTube channel, but remember, you guys also have to subscribe to our website, bearsprofitplays.com. Link is in the description below to be entered into winning that free 1-year membership. Okay, guys, let's start with a new segment, our Dogs of the Week here on the channel. Each of us will give out a underdog pick money line to win this week. If your underdog wins, you will receive the number. Last week, let's see, the Packers. If you took the Packers +5 against the Cowboys, you receive 5 points because the Packers beat the Cowboys. Okay, who would like to go first? Trey, it looks like.
That's tough, Jesse. Jesse, I'm sorry about that. I know that you don't like to bring it up. But I'm going to go Hawaii +10.5 as my very first dog of the weekend pick. I faded them at the very beginning of the season, and they wanted me some money, but then they lost me some money because they finally decided to play football after a few weeks. But Hawaii is 4-0 ATS in their last 4 home games. Hawaii is 4-0 ATS versus a team with a losing record. And the under is 5-0 in the last 5 games versus UNLV. That's who Hawaii is playing. So I think with all those trends, that tells me Hawaii has a chance to beat UNLV because UNLV has to go all the way to Hawaii to play. It's a home game for them. So I think that they might be a little bit jet lagged. They might be enjoying the weather because I'm sure it's super hot there while it's cold here. And I think that they're going to pull off a 10.5 win for Hawaii.
Hawaii on the island. They are a different team. Teats?
So I went with Nebraska, and I'll be honest, there's not a whole lot of reason behind it. I know that Nebraska's playing Wisconsin. Wisconsin's the one that's -10.5 this week. Both teams have a new coach coming through this, so they're just kind of riding until they can get to the end of the season to figure out what they're going to do from here. But you know what? Nebraska Cornhuskers, they're still a historic team. I think that when you're playing in Nebraska, it's still not a great environment to be in. And as bad as Wisconsin has also been this year, I think that Nebraska can pull out a win at home. At least one for me, please.
I like it. You guys went big on the underdog. Now I'm going to play the methodical plays here with the Hilltoppers +5.5. Western Kentucky won 4 of their last 5 games, 2 of their last 3 games on the road. They're playing well offensively. Auburn has not been playing well. Auburn's lost 4 of the last 5. Auburn's defense on its heels in this game. I think Western Kentucky can run the ball against them. And then Western Kentucky also has a really good passing offense as well. So I'm going to take Western Kentucky plus the 5.5. And I'm pretty confident in that one. So all right.
I like that. So it'll be interesting to see who's going to win this week. Hopefully at least one of us wins so we can get on the board. But we're going to be updating that leaderboard on our Sunday show. So make sure to look out for that.
All right, let's get into the weekend slate, guys. Let's start with Georgia -22.5 against Kentucky. The over-under is 49.5. Teats, let's start with you.
Man, it's wild to see some pretty big teams like Georgia, Kentucky, and the spread being that wild. Yeah. We're talking 3 touchdowns. And the thing is Georgia can do it. But we've also seen Georgia struggle against teams like Mizzou. You know, I'm taking, with Kentucky at home, I'm taking Kentucky plus 22.5. I think that Kentucky has still a really good defense. I think that it's going to be kind of a back and forth for maybe like the first 3 minutes of the game. I do think Georgia's going to win, but I think that Kentucky can kind of pull out some garbage time stuff, get within that 22.5 spread.
Yeah, Kentucky last week failed to Vanderbilt 24-21. That snapped Vanderbilt's 26-game losing streak to SEC opponents. That's outstanding. Bad. Like, that's bad for Kentucky. But Georgia has the SEC East wrapped up. And they're going to focus on keeping players healthy in the fourth quarter when they're up big. So I'm going to give Kentucky a shot to cover in this one, plus the 22.5. It's their last home game. The seniors are going to play hard. So I'll take Kentucky plus 22.5. Trey?
Well, I'm not going to team ride with you guys because I'm not picking a spread. Both of these teams are led by their defenses. The only difference between these two teams for me is that Georgia's also elite on their offense while Kentucky's only elite on their defense.
Right.
Georgia is ranked number 2 in the country at allowing 12.9 points per game. Kentucky's 32 in the country at 22.2 points per game. So both these defenses love to show up. They love to try to not even allow touchdowns if they can. So I'm going to go under the 49.5. The under is 10-1 in Kentucky's last 11 games overall. The under is 6-1 in Kentucky's last 7 home games. The under is 4-1 in Georgia's last 5 road games. And the under is 5-2 in the last 7 games between these two teams. So I think the 49.5 is a little bit too much for Kentucky to try to keep up with Georgia because 22 points is a lot, so they're essentially saying that Georgia's going to score 30 and Kentucky's going to score 10, and we'll see what's going to happen, but I'm going to go under the 49.5 there.
All right, so we have Kentucky, and the under. Let's move on to Oklahoma State versus Oklahoma. Oklahoma is minus 7.5. The over-under is set at 66.5. I'm going to start with this one. Spencer Sanders is back, guys, in this game. He will play. Here's a direct quote from him after they lost. Or no, they came back and won last week, correct?
Mm-hmm.
I think they came back and won last week. He said, whenever someone asked him about playing Oklahoma this week, he said, ain't no question about it. I'm playing. So I'm going to take Oklahoma State, and I'm also going to take Oklahoma State money line because I think they can win this game. Trey?
Dang, you should have maybe picked them as your dog of the week.
Nope, I was more confident West Kentucky.
That's fair.
Oklahoma is coming off a game where they allowed West Virginia's backup quarterback to run for 119 yards and 2 touchdowns, and they're facing another running threat in Spencer Sanders. So I'm going to go Oklahoma State and the points, just like Jesse did. OSU is 10-2 ATS in their last 12 road games. OU is 1-6 ATS in their last 7 games overall. OU is 0-5 ATS in their last 5 home games. So I'm going to go with OSU in this. It's a rivalry game. It's Bedlam. You could probably throw the trends out the window, but they're there for us to look at, and the trends say take OSU in the points here.
All right, Teats, are we riding together, or what do you have?
No, we're not riding together. So the thing is like I'm looking at Oklahoma minus 7.5. Here's the deal: if you want an actual lock, like there's no doubt this is going to hit, take Oklahoma money line. It's minus 275, so it's not going to pay out at all unless you put your entire paycheck on it. But the thing is that Oklahoma, I think we were talking about Oklahoma is 90-19 against Oklahoma State and Bedlam. Historically, we're speaking. Oklahoma this year has been bad. Oklahoma State this year has been Oklahoma State. I don't know what else to say about them. I think that Oklahoma, even though they lose to some pretty bad teams, it's a rivalry game. I think they're going to come out and they'll spank Oklahoma State pretty bad.
All right. 2 on Oklahoma State, 1 on Oklahoma. Let's move on to one of the bigger games on the weekend slate. USC minus 2.5 versus UCLA. Over and under is 76.5. Trey, I'm going to start with you.
Man, oh man, both of these teams have dynamic offenses. Caleb Williams has played his way into the Heisman competition, and DTR is one of the best dual threats in the nation. Look for both these defenses to kind of stay in their locker room, not really know that the game is starting. I'm going to go over 76.5. USC is ranked number 3 in the nation with 42.4 points per game. UCLA is number 9 in the nation with 38.9 points per game. So both of these teams love to score. The over is 4-0 in USC's last 4 games overall. The over is 6-2 in UCLA's last 8 games overall. And the over is 4-0 in the last 4 games between these two teams. So whenever these two teams play, the over always hits. So I'm going to go over 76.5.
Yeah, these two offenses are explosive. That is for sure. But this is a win and in game for USC for the Pac-12 championship game. It would have been for UCLA, but last week they laid an egg against Arizona. So unless they win this game and get help, they're out of the championship game. I like USC to take care of business in this game. Caleb Williams has been great for USC. They had a tough loss early in the season against Utah. Utah went for 2 and crushed their dreams. But I think if USC wins this game by a lot and then they win the Pac-12 championship, they can still get into the playoffs if TCU falls to Baylor or if Michigan-Ohio State game's not very close. So we'll see how that plans out. But I'm going to take USC minus the 2.5. Teats?
Dude, I'm riding with both of you guys. I'm taking USC minus 2.5 and the over. I agree. I think USC is a pretty solid team, and they've definitely worked out all their kinks since that loss against Utah. And Utah's also, I mean, they're a top 15 team as well, top 10.
They're very good as well.
Very good as well. So if that's their only loss so far, I do think that this is a do or die for them. If they lose, it's not looking like they can make the playoffs, so they've got to win this one. So I definitely think over is an absolute lock, but minus 2.5, I like it for USC.
All right, let's move on to the second biggest game. The Pac-12 is loaded this week. Utah minus 2.5 versus Oregon. Oregon at home. Over under is 60.5. I'll start. I like the over. I like fireworks in this game. Over 60.5. Both these offenses are really good. This is a toss-up game for the spread because we don't really know what's going to happen with Oregon after last week when they kind of laid an egg against Washington. But I'm not confident to take them at home, so I'm going to take the over 60.5. Oregon has the number 2 offense in the country, so I expect fireworks. So, Teats?
You know, a lot of it is, and if you're listening at home, listening on the road from Cam, I saw that comment. You know, my bet for this is going to be potentially different than what I will take Saturday when that game comes. If Bo Nix starts, I'm taking Oregon plus 2.5 at home, and I'm locking that in now. If Bo Nix does not play, I'm taking Utah minus 2.5. I think that there is such a huge difference between Bo Nix and Ty Washington, I think is their backup.
Ty Thompson,
there we go. I think there's such a big enough difference between the two that Oregon's offense, who laid an egg last week against Arizona, I believe, it will be that game changer right there. If Bo Nix plays, Oregon's winning straight up. If Bo Nix does not play, Utah will win by at least 3.
Yeah, we saw last week Bo Nix go down, just non-contact. It was weird. I thought he popped his Achilles, but he was back in 2 drives later. The backup came in, took 1 snap, fumbled the ball, cost him the game. So yeah, if Bo Nix isn't playing, this is Utah all day. Trey?
Well, I'll kind of just touch what you guys said. Oregon let the college football playoff slip out of their grasp last week. Bo Nix got injured. That's why the line is this line. Oregon as home dogs absolutely blows my mind.
Yeah.
But if Bo Nix doesn't play, then 2.5 is what it is. And I think that with this line, I think that they're saying Bo Nix is not going to play because there's no way you could put Oregon as home dogs, even with what happened last week. But I think Ty Thompson will be good enough in relief. I'm going to take Oregon plus the 2.5. Oregon is 6-1 ATS in their last 7 home games. Oregon is 5-1 ATS in their last 6 games overall. And in this matchup, the home team has covered the last 5 times. So I'm going to go Oregon plus the 2.5. I think Ty Thompson will be able to, who knows, maybe set off some fireworks and maybe say, who was Bo Nix? He's gone next year. This is my team.
Yeah, the line suggests that Bo Nix either won't play or will be limited. He did come back in that game, so we will have to just wait and see on that one. Let's move on to the NFL games. We're going to start with the Eagles, minus 6.5 versus the Colts. Over under is 45.5. I'm going to start. The Colts are 1-0 with Jeff Saturday and Matt Ryan back. They exposed the Commanders exposed the Eagles last week for being frauds that they are. So I'm going to take the Colts plus the 6 or plus the 7 here. I don't care. I'll ride Jeff Saturday until he loses. Trey?
Yeah, and you bet on the Commanders last week, and that was one on part of your weekend bet slip. So make sure that you look out for Bears weekend bet slip this week. Jeff Saturday, I did not think that he was going to beat my Raiders last week, and he did. So I'm going to keep the momentum going. I'm going to ride Bears as well. I'm going to go Colts plus 7. The Eagles are 1-5 ATS in their last 6 road games. They do not play good on the road. Their games are pretty close. And in this matchup, the last 5 games, the underdog is 4-1 ATS. So I'm going to go Colts plus 7. I think Matt Ryan will be able to do enough to be able to hand the ball off to Jonathan Taylor 50 plus times. Jordan Davis is out this game. They just signed Ndamukong Suh, the Eagles did, but I don't think he'll be ready to make an impact in this game. So I'm going to go Colts plus 7 and Jonathan Taylor, please just run the ball.
Yeah, last week, Colts and Jeff Saturday knows how to run the ball. He played offensive line for a long time. 22 carries, 147 yards for Taylor last week. So I expect them to keep feeding him the ball this week. Teats, Colts, and your beloved Eagles. What are you going with?
Dude, they hurt me every week, but I can't let them go. I can't let them go yet. I'm taking Eagles -7. I think that the Commanders, Taylor Heineke is just he's a different man. Like that dude wins games, like regardless. I think that was just a bad matchup. Ooh. All right. I guess Cam's riding with me every pick. So Cam, good luck with the Eagles -7. I don't know. I think that they're going to come out. They got their first loss. Now they're feeling like they feel it. They feel that pain. They're still top of the NFC, fighting with the Vikings. I think that the Colts, they get that first one with Jeff Saturday. I don't think so. I think the Eagles are winning this one probably 10 or more.
Oh no.
That's fair enough, but can we date back how many Eagles spreads you've lost? Is it 4 in a row?
It doesn't even matter how, just whenever it began. It's
okay.
Every time.
Every time you take the Eagles, they lose.
Every time I take the Eagles.
Someone jot that down, though.
It's a fact.
All right. Let's move on to the Jets versus the Patriots. Patriots are -3.5. Over under is low 38.5. Trey, what do we have?
Man, oh man, it's just like we were talking about last week with Nick Saban coming off of a loss. I bet that I lost. Patriots coming off of a bye. I'm hoping that, Bill Belichick is still Bill Belichick. Yeah. So I'm going to go Patriots -3.5 right here because Patriots coming off of a bye. Everyone knows that they are covering Warriors. Patriots are 5-1 ATS in their last 6 games overall. Patriots are 9-3 ATS in their last 12 games following a bye week. And Jets are 0-4 ATS in their last 4 games against the Patriots. And the Jets are 1-5-1 ATS in their last 7 games in Foxborough. Just because Robert Saleh's there doesn't mean that the Jets can get over the bad boy Patriots, especially in Foxborough. I'm going to go Patriots -3.5.
Yeah, and I love this Jets team with Robert Saleh. They're so young and confident. But I will continue to take the Patriots until the Jets can beat them. The Patriots own the Jets. That's how the world works. I don't make the rules. I don't care that the Jets are probably the better team in this one. The Patriots, the last 13 matchups have won 13-13. If you date it back 15 games, they're 14-15. Their last loss against the Jets back in 2015 in an overtime game. So until the Jets beat the Patriots, I will take the Patriots. So Patriots -3.5. Teats?
Well, this is my members lock on Bears Profit Plays. This is my article I'll be writing this week. So if you guys want to know what I'm writing about, if you're a member, go check it out when it drops. If you're not, go look at what memberships give you every week.
Absolutely. All right, Patriots on that one. Let's move on to the Cowboys. -1.5 versus the Vikings. Over under is 47.5. I'm not going first, so Teats.
So we saw what happened last week. We all rode Dallas against Green Bay. Should have been a lock. And I might be doing you a favor, Barry, by doing this. I'm taking the Vikings +1.5. The Vikings took on the Bills, and with the grace of God, Josh Allen decided to shave those points and gave the Vikings some win, along with Justin Jefferson combining every pass wide receiver that could have ever been amazing. He's going to have a slower game at some point, but the Vikings just overall have looked so dominant. Adding TJ Hawkinson, that offense is looking way more complete than they ever have. I just think that the 1.5, I think the Vikings wind up winning money line even. I think the Cowboys are going to drop one more before they get it all back on track.
Vikings money line. Trey?
All right, I'm going with Cowboys money line. Here we go, Jesse. Let's go. Cowboys broke Jesse's heart last week. Will they do it again? I don't think so. I'm going Cowboys money line in this matchup. Cowboys are 6-2 ATS in their last 8 games overall. They are 10-3 ATS in their last 13 road games. And the road team in this matchup is 4-1 ATS in their last 5. So I'm going Cowboys money line. I don't think that they're going to worry about no skull chance. Cowboys are going to dominate this game. Look for Micah Parsons to eat some Kirk Cousins sandwiches.
Yeah, thank you, Trey, for bringing that up. I'm with Teats on this one, Trey. I'm going to take the Vikings money line. For everybody out there who says I play favorites, the Vikings are going to win this game. I can't take Dallas after watching them perform like they do. Dak needs to win a meaningful game. Like, he can't win meaningful games. The Vikings took down what I consider the best team in the league last week. Jay Jettas is him. He's so good. I can't find words to describe how good he is. Like, It's just I think Dallas is in for a long game.
The chat's going off. They do not like this, Jesse.
The True Blue Nation's in shambles right now. But
all right, well, I'm going to be riding with the Cowboys.
I think Dallas is in for a long game, and I really hope I'm wrong. I'm not going to take Vikings money line. I'm going to take them plus 1.5, and I'm hoping Dallas wins by 1. So it's going to be a long game to watch for me. I'm going to be stressed, but until the Cowboys can show me they can win a good game or a good opponent against a good opponent, I have to take the Vikings.
You aren't True Blue Nation. Fake.
Yeah, fake True Blue Nation. That's fine.
Where's the JK? It's got to be coming.
No.
That's awesome.
All these people think I'm not taking the Vikings. I'm taking the Vikings plus the 1.5. I already wrote about it in my article this week for my free play on the NFL. It's up on bearsprofitplays.com. I specifically point out why the Vikings are going to win. The line makes no sense also. Dallas minus 1.5 on the road against the 8-1 Vikings. How does that make sense? So I'm hoping I'm a rat here eating the cheese. So if the Cowboys win, good. If the Vikings win, I got to pick right on the podcast. So let's move on.
Win-win.
Yeah, let's move on. That pisses me off that I took the Vikings. Okay. Chiefs minus 4.5 versus the Chargers. Over under is 51.5. Teats, I'll start with you.
So I got the Chiefs wrong last week. It was close. I thought that the Jags were gonna cover against the spread, but Patrick Mahomes is just that dude on 3rd and 4th downs. If he needs to gain less than 10 yards, he'll do it easy. I do have to say, I'm not going to take a side in this one because the Chargers are also that team that when they look like they should be the worst team in the league, they come out and drop 40 on you. Yeah. I will go with the over 51.5 though. It's just I cannot explain how frustrating the Chargers are specifically based off the fact that they have their 2 top dudes out and Justin Herbert goes off. Right. Like it does not make sense to me. So I'm going with the over. Probably going to have like Keenan Allen or someone back, and the Chargers are going to drop like a 3-point game or something, and we're going to miss the over by 1 point. But you know what? It is what it is.
Right.
I'm staying with the over.
Yeah, this game's tough. The Chargers have to win this game, guys, to be in the playoff contention. They've lost 2 out of the last 3 games. I just feel like the Chargers are the worst. Like they have the worst luck. I feel like every year they have the most injuries every year in the NFL. So Mike Williams and Keenan Allen, I looked before the podcast. Both were limited in practice on Tuesday and Wednesday, so it looks like they're going to play. I just have to take the Chargers to plus 4.5 because they have to win the game to be in the playoff contention. So hopefully the Chiefs win money line, but I'm going to take the Chargers plus 4.5. Trey?
Yeah, if I were picking a side, I would go with the Chargers because they're getting healthier right now. Mac just practiced full this week. And like you said, Keenan Allen and Mike Williams have both been limited all week, so it looks like they're going to be back as well. But with that, I'm going to go with Teats here. I'm going to go over 51.5. The over is 7-1 in the Chiefs' last 8 road games. So the Chiefs love to play on the road. They love shutting the opposing crowds up. The over is 4-1 in the Chiefs' last 5 against the AFC West opponents. And the over is 6-2 in the Chargers' last 8 home games. So if Herbert gets to sleep in his own bed, he plays good. If Mahomes gets to shush the crowd and watch Jackson Mahomes dance on the sidelines, then, the over is 51.5, and I think it's going to hit. That's my end.
Yeah. I'm also going to add the over 51.5 because I feel like the Chiefs can also score 40 and it can be a blowout. So add the 51.5 to my card. What did I do? Oh, I took the Chargers. Oh, the Chiefs fans in the chat upset, but you know what? I'm done betting with the heart. I'm betting with the brain. So let's move on to our bet
Sometimes
split.
that's all you can do.
Yep. I've been hurt too many times this year. So let's move on to the bet slips. Trey, we're going to start with yours.
Yeah, I like to just pick 2 NCAA and 2 NFL, and we'll see what happens with it. Each week I've been 2-2. I've hit 1 NCAA and 1 NFL and lost another one. But we'll see what happens this time around. I'm going to go K-State versus West Virginia. K-State minus 6.5. I think I bought a point there because I think they're favored by 7.5. K-State is 5-1 ATS, and they're versus a team with a losing record. West Virginia is 2-6 ATS in their last 8 Big 12 games. They're still not used to the Big 12. They wish they could go back to the Big East. And the favorite in this matchup in the last 5 games has covered the 4 out of 1. So K-State's favored, so I'm going to go K-State minus 6.5. My next NCAA pick is UConn versus Army. UConn plus 9.5. That is actually my free pick on the website on bearsprofitplace.com. So if you want to go listen to some of those trends, go check out that article. I will just say UConn plus 9.5 is easy money. Going on to Sunday, NFL, Bears versus Falcons. Bears plus 3.5. I feel really confident about that. Falcons are 0-4 ATS in their last 4 games overall. And in this matchup, the Bears are 4-0 ATS in their last 4 games against the Falcons. And then my last pick, Commanders versus Texans, the game of the week, the one that everyone's going to be watching. I'm going to go Commanders minus 2.5. I think I bought a point there as well. I think it's Commanders minus 3.5. But Commanders are 4-0-1 ATS in their last 5 games. Taylor Heineke is a covering machine. He will not allow you to blow them out, even if they lose. And the favorite in this matchup is 4-1 ATS in their last 5 games. Commanders are favorited, so I'm going to side with them here. Commanders minus 2.5.
Yeah, I like that pick a lot. Cam seems to think he's got me figured out. Betting against Cowboys so they win, and betting against you're not wrong, but you're also not right. But peace and love. All right,
Peace and love.
Teats, what do we have?
Oh boy, are you guys ready for this?
Let's see that bet slip.
I got 3 college, 2 NFL, so we'll start with Saturday. So Maryland, last week I was wrong. Hopefully I'm right about them this week. They got Ohio State. I'm looking at the over 63.5. Ohio State's offense is very good. Maryland's offense is typically pretty good. They did not look good last week against Penn State. I think that it could be easily like a 45-24 type ball game. Ohio State's going to definitely win this, but I think Maryland should be able to help cover that over.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of going with Trey, K-State, West Virginia. Dude, K-State is just that team that can put some points up on the board.
And they're finally starting Will Howard, too. Yes. Thank God.
And honestly, if they started Will Howard from week 1, they may be the number 1 team in the nation.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not. I'm not going to actually go that far, but they are very good with Will Howard as their quarterback.
There we are.
Adrian Martinez, he's a great dual threat quarterback, but he's just not their guy. So I think K-State, West Virginia, they can either score 40 or they'll score 12. But I think over 54.5 is a good number as well for that game. Virginia Tech, Liberty minus 10. I went against Liberty earlier this season against Wake Forest, and I was so wrong. I decided, you know what? Liberty's looking great this season. I'm going to go with Liberty's side on this one. Minus 10. Virginia Tech hasn't been great either this season, so I think that that could be a trap situation. Liberty might get another loss before going into the bowl action type situation, but Liberty minus 10 just feels right to the soul. Mm-hmm. Going to Sunday. As you can see, I'm not taking sides for Sunday. I was looking at the lineups and was not a fan of most of the matchups going on. So we got Raiders-Broncos. I'm going over 41. Last time that the Raiders and Broncos played, I think the over-under was like 45, and they hit. It was like 50-some total points scored. Broncos defense is one of the best in the league. Broncos offense is one of the worst. So we'll see what they can do with that. Raiders are kind of like in the middle of the pack both ways. So I'm going to go over for that game just based off of how they handled it last time they played. Bengals, Steelers. The Steelers, dude, Kenny Pickett seems to be figuring it out a little bit. Week by week, he's starting to figure it out. I think that a 28-23 ball game is very possible. I think the Bengals will win it, but I think that both offenses being Bengals offense being high-powered, Steelers offense figuring it out, 41 is almost a disrespectful line.
Yeah.
Yeah, Teats, 4 overs in that card. That's the way to my heart. I love those over picks. All right, let's get into my bet slip. I have 3 college games.
You have 3 college games.
3 college games. Let's start with TCU. TCU versus Baylor. I'm going to take TCU money line or TCU minus the 2.5. I haven't decided yet. They have to win this game to remain in the college football playoffs. Baylor last week at home, thumped by K-State. We all watched that game. TCU is just a better team here. So I'm going to take TCU to keep riding the Horned Frogs. Nebraska plus 10.5 versus Wisconsin. Both these teams stink. And the over-under set at 39.5. So it's too many points for Wisconsin to cover. In this one, Nebraska has been close in a lot of games leading up to this one. A 6-point loss against Purdue, a 7-point loss against Minnesota. So I think they can cover against a bad Wisconsin team. Kansas State minus 6.5 versus West Virginia. Kansas State is a different animal with Will Howard. Trey said it. Will Howard makes this team elite. Last week, they ran a dual quarterback threat against Baylor, 131-3. This game just feels like the same outcome. I just don't think West Virginia is that good. Kansas State's going to get up big and just keep pounding them. So let's move on to the NFL picks. Commanders -2.5 versus Houston. Everyone loves Taylor Heineke. Everybody. The team loves him. The fans love him. The only people that don't love him seem to be the front office, because after they went into Philly and dominated them and ended their perfect season, they sat the man in economy next to a trash can. So I don't understand that. But Heineke has some magic in him. I don't know what it is. It's kind of feels like Fitzpatrick kind of way. But Commanders win this game big, and they get themselves back in the playoff contention. The Bengals -3 versus the Steelers. This is a revenge game from week 1. Pittsburgh took down the Bengals. Bengals big, gets ugly fast. So Bengals -3.
I like that.
All right. Yeah. Let's move into our last segment of the podcast, the parlay locks of the week. I will start. West Kentucky +5. They are my dog. I'm going to take them in the parlay as well. Trey?
I like that. And I'm going UConn +9.5. I didn't give you guys any trends whenever they were on my bet slip, and I won't give you guys any trends now. Go check out my free article on bearsprofitplace.com.
All right. Teats?
And Ohio State versus Maryland, that over 63.5. Like I said, I think Ohio State will put up 45 by themselves. I think Maryland can cover the other 18, 19 points.
All right. Last week we went 2 and 3 on the parlay. Hand up. It was UNC Wake Forest didn't cover over 77. They scored 3 points in the fourth quarter, and it ended at 76. So that was fun.
Well, so this James Madison, absolutely.
We are hitting this week for sure, +614. So, all right, that'll do it for us today. Thank you guys for joining. Don't forget about the free 1-year membership giveaway. Make sure to get entered into that. And if you enjoyed the content, make sure to drop a like and share it with a friend. Links are in the description below if you guys want to check out our website as well. So thank you guys for joining. Have a good day.